What do I think about the new Mos Eisley? Is it going to be worth the price? There's been lots of cool sets out recently. Not sure. Hey Bricknit, it's Chris here, aka Bricknit, and today I was going to do a very different video, which was actually going to be a comparison between Diagon Alley and Mos Eisley. Obviously those are two massive sets coming out towards Christmas time, and I was thinking if you could only buy one, which would it be? However, when I was doing a lot of research on the stuff, we actually seem to have a lot more information on the new Diagon Alley set compared to the Mos Eisley set. So I thought, actually, let's use the Diagon Alley set and what we know about it to actually look at what maybe we'll be getting with the Mos Eisley set, as well as looking at some older versions of Mos Eisley and some play sets that we've had in previous Star Wars areas as well, to see if we can kind of predict what's going to happen with the new Mos Eisley one. So if you agree with any of my predictions in this video, let me know in the comments down below which ones you think. And also, if you've got any more predictions of your own, let me know as well, because that'd be pretty cool to see if you guys have got some other awesome ideas that I haven't even thought about. So let's start off with the rumoured pricing. So I think the rumoured pricing that's going around the LEGO community is it's going to be $349, which is £299 in the UK. And that's mainly due to the fact that the Cloud City one, the Portrayal on Cloud City that came out in 2018, was that kind of pricing. However, for me, there's also another set that we should be looking at, which is also the Diagon Alley and the Death Star. So the revamped Death Star came out in 2016, but that was actually priced at £409.99 in the UK, and I think it was around $450 in America. So that's a very, very big set, which contained a lot of minifigures, which I'm hoping is more what we'll get with this one. So I'm kind of hoping that with that set, looking at it might be getting retired this year, that it might be the Mos Eisley one replacing the Death Star, which would be pretty cool. We can also predict how much it might be based off of the Diagon Alley set that's going to be coming out. So that one's being rumoured to be $399 in America, so maybe £350 in the UK. And that one has a staggering 5,544 pieces in the set, and we know it also contains 14 minifigures. So to me, this set could be anywhere between £300 and £400, and I'm hoping it's more actually to the higher end of £400, because I want to see more minifigures like we got in the Death Star one in comparison to what we got in the Portrayal on Cloud City. Okay, so what do I think this set will include? Well, before we get onto the minifigures, that'll be separately, I want to look at what I think might be in the actual UCS Mos Eisley itself. So going back to piece count, we have three sets to compare it to: the Death Star, Diagon Alley on Portrayal on Cloud City. So Death Star had 4,016 pieces, Diagon Alley has 5,544 pieces, and Cloud City had 2,812 pieces. So really, I have no idea how many pieces this is going to be. But if we look at it, I'm hoping around 3,000 to 4,000 pieces I think would be pretty acceptable for this set. So I'm really hoping it's around there, and I think that gives us quite a bit to play with in terms of what we can expect to be in the Mos Eisley itself. So first off, Mos Eisley Cantina is practically guaranteed. Most people are even thinking this is just going to be a Mos Eisley Cantina set, because we don't actually know if it's Mos Eisley the entire spaceport or Mos Eisley the Cantina. So I think Mos Eisley Cantina is a guaranteed, obviously. I think this will definitely, even if it's not the entire set, will be the main hub of the set, and I think that would be really cool for displaying it if you don't want to have the full thing. Like obviously Portrayal of Cloud City was really, really hard to display, which is why I think it put a lot of people off it. Hoping with the Cantina you might even be able to display it a little bit better, or easily put it into like cities. That might be happening in the future. So that'd be really cool as well. But I'd also like to see some custom things that go in the Cantina. So I want to see more things that go behind the bar, using the droid heads and stuff as, you know, where they pour drinks from. And I would really like to see new glassware for Blue Milk, because if you look at the latest Harry Potter series 2 CMF series, Ron and Hermione have new butterbeer glasses which actually have dual molding, with the butterbeer being a different color. I would love to see that with the Cantina where they're drinking blue milk, because blue milk is a classic in Star Wars. It's even referenced in the new Obi-Wan's hut with a little blue milk glass there, but it's just like a normal 1x1 stud. So I really want to see something better than that and have hopefully custom glassware for the Cantina, and this is the best time to do that really. Now again, looking at the Portrayal on Cloud City set, we also had a small Slave 1 that was like a MIDI scale which Boba Fett could fit into, as well as we had the Cloud City car as well, which was pretty cool. So I'm really wanting to see maybe the dock which the Millennium Falcon is in, and we get a new MIDI scale Millennium Falcon. I think there was one that came out in 2009, so that'd be really cool to see that in this set. I'd love to have one of those. It'd be awesome for like Galaxy's Edge mocks and stuff as well, so that would be an ace inclusion on this. But obviously that leaves us, maybe we might get another ship as well. Now a lot of people are saying it's going to be Luke's land speeder. I don't think it is, because we have Luke's land speeder already out at the moment, as well as Obi-Wan's hut, so I don't think that's going to be the set in this. I really don't want that to be the set in this anyway. But there are two more options that I can think of, one being the Skyhopper, which we see at the end of the celebrations on Endor. We see when it goes back to Tatooine, the Skyhopper's there. We also had a Skyhopper recently in the Microfighter sets as well, so I think this would be really nice to have another one of them, but more of a proper MIDI kind of scale layer one that you can fit in. I think that'll be really cool, and hopefully they wouldn't require too many pieces to do that. Also, if we're kind of looking at the prequels as well, potentially we could get a pod racer, which could be pretty cool as well if we're kind of tying them both into this same set. So I'm hoping it's either a pod racer or a skyhopper, or potentially it could be the escape pod which C-3PO and R2-D2 landed on Tatooine in, but I really don't want to see that again either, because we've had that so many times, as well as Luke's land speeder, so I just really don't want those two in this set. So looking back at the 3 old Mos Eisley sets, also I've noticed that in 2 out of the 3 there is a Dewback. Now that'd be really cool if they brought the mold back for the Dewback. I think that'd be great, but I think they're not going to do 2 animals in this set. And actually, looking at Ryan's prediction video, he actually mentioned the Skywalker Saga LEGO game that's coming out, and the fact that there was a Bantha in that, and it looks like that is pretty much a guarantee for this set, I think, because it does look like they've made that and then it's going to be referenced in this set. So I think that the Dewback won't be in it, and instead we'll have a Bantha. I really do hope we get the Dewback as well, but I don't think that that's a guaranteed. So it would be cool to get those 2, and again, make Mos Eisley look a little bit more hustle and bustle with having these bigger animals, because if you look at a lot of the CGI footage that they added in and stuff, there are a lot of animals in the scene, so that'd be really cool to see that kind of going on. Going back to Ryan's video again, he mentioned that he reckons that there might be Mandalorian stuff, or that he'd like to see Mandalorian stuff. I think that would be great to see, but I don't think that's going to be the case. As I said in my previous video on the Razor Crest, I'll put the link up here if you haven't seen that one already, I think personally the Razor Crest has been rushed out. I don't think they've spent the time and resources on actually making that set. So I think that this one's had like a 2-year span, which is usually what LEGO do for designing and developing a set. So I don't think that the Mandalorian was even out when they started making the set. So I really don't think they're going to be putting any Mandalorian stuff in. However, I do think they may reference the prequel trilogy instead, because obviously with the LEGO Skywalker Saga coming out, that'd be really cool to have the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy in the set. So I think they may include Watto's junkyard potentially. That would be pretty cool. Or even Anakin's old homestead with maybe his mother as one of the minifigures. I'm not too sure. That one's a bit of an out there claim, but I think it would be pretty cool to get something like that that kind of references the prequels and the original trilogy. So you could set it up then as the original trilogy, or you could set it up as maybe the prequel trilogy. Okay, so let's get on to what minifigures I think will be included in this set, and I'm hoping that there's going to be a lot of minifigures. So again, going back to Diagon Alley, we know Diagon Alley is pretty much guaranteed that it's going to have 14 minifigures, and we seem to be thinking in the LEGO community that 14 minifigures sounds about right for this kind of set. However, again, the Death Star had 29 minifigures, so that's more what I'm hoping for. Please, that would be so cool to have that many minifigures, but I think we're probably going to be getting 14 to 15. So I'm going to put my first 14 here, and then after that, what I'd like to see included as well, if that's at all possible. So take a look at the old Mos Eisley Cantina sets again. I think we can kind of clearly see some of the minifigures that will be included in the set. So starting off, the latest one, we got the bartender character. I definitely think he's going to be in this one again. I think he was only ever in that set anyway, so I don't even think they'll change him. I think they'll just literally add him in. It may allow us to get a few more minifigures if they're reusing older ones. Be more than happy to get him in the set. I didn't get the old Cantina set, so I think this would be great to get him included in this one. Looking back at the one before that set, we also got 3 of the Cantina band members, the Biths. I think they'd be really cool to have in this. I'd happily just have 3. I know there are 5 band members, but I think 3 is quite a nice number, because you could always then get 2 more off Bricklink, because they're basically the same characters in the same suits. And then looking back at the old sets again, we had 2 Greedos. I think Greedo's a great character to get in the Cantina, so I'd love to have a Greedo with side arm printing again, please. That would be absolutely amazing. And I think to go along with Greedo, you have to have Han Solo, hopefully with the side leg printing, because I still don't have a Han Solo with side leg printing yet, so that'd be really cool, and I think that'd be a cool scene that they'll add into the Mos Eisley Cantina. We've also had 2 leaked minifigures, which is the Dr. Everson character and Ponda Baba. They're the 2 characters that kind of have a little bit of a row with Luke and Obi-Wan, and Ponda Baba gets his arm chopped off, so that'll be great, and that gives us 3 alien races then, but I would love to see more alien races in this set. I think also we're definitely going to be getting 2 Sand Troopers, as those guys are always around the scenes, so that gives us 10 minifigures at the moment. And as you can see, I've only really included one of the main characters, which is Han Solo. I don't personally think Luke and Obi-Wan are going to be in this, or R2-D2, although C-3PO we'll get onto in a minute. The reason is that Obi-Wan and Luke are already available in Luke's land speeder and Obi-Wan's hut this year, so I don't think they're going to include those characters. I think it's a really stupid idea if they do. I mean, we're getting 2 Tatooine Lukes in those sets, as well as a Tatooine Luke in the Advent calendar, so they'd put it in this as well. That is absolutely ridiculous. So I'm really hoping that they don't include those 2, because I'm hoping this is like more of an add-on set and a modular style set that will be adding those together into this as a all-in-one Tatooine kind of style that you can get this year. So as I said, I think Obi-Wan's hut might fit nicely into this. It might more of it be a modular where it can clip on, because we know we have those side clips on the set. Ryan again in his video thought that maybe the Lars homestead might be included in this set, which I thought was a really weird claim at first, and I thought, why are they going to include that, because they don't even live in Mos Eisley? But then the more I was thinking about it, and the more we looked at the Skywalker Saga clips that we're getting for the LEGO game that's coming out soon, the more we kind of saw that there may be inclinations that that is going to happen. So a good friend of mine in the LEGO community, Rogue Runner, and I were doing some research on this video the other night, going through the LEGO Skywalker saga and kind of thoughts on Mos Eisley. We were looking through the stuff, and he actually said that in the actual artworks for the LEGO Skywalker saga pictures, there's actually a silver C-3PO. So we've never actually had a silver C-3PO. We have had a silver protocol droid. I think he was in an advent calendar a couple of years ago and in a book as well, but we never actually had a silver C-3PO that's like half finished and a bit rusty and stuff. However, there does seem to be one on the pictures for the game. So we're thinking, well, where does he appear in the films? And again, if we were including the prequels in this, then he is in episode 2 and he's actually at the Lars homestead. And if the Lars do get included in this set, then obviously C-3PO in that kind of condition would be perfect character to have in this set. So that's 3 minifigures we could potentially getting there, which would be really, really cool to tie in either the prequels and the original trilogy to this Mos Eisley. So if we add those 3 minifigures in as well, that gives us 13 minifigures. So we're still one under the minifigure category, and that may be that we get Chewbacca as an added one, but I really hope not, because we get so many Chewbaccas, I don't really need another one. If it was my choice to have a couple more minifigures, more than 14, this would be what I would do now. So these are more nice to have than what I think we'll actually be getting. So there's a really cool scene in the Cantina where you see 3 characters sitting around, and it's basically an Athorian, an astronaut, and a werewolf, which is actually called a Devil. I think those 3 characters would be absolutely great to have to kind of pad out the Cantina and get lots of new exclusive aliens that we wouldn't get before. So I would love to see those 3 characters in this, which would then bump it up to 16 minifigures. The astronaut one in particular is just a really funny minifig because it's just a guy in a random astronaut suit, which really doesn't fit in with the Star Wars stuff. So also, if LEGO wanted to reuse older molds and stuff, we may get a Tal, because there was one with like a Mohican in the set 8085, the Freako Speeder. So that could be really cool to see him reappear, maybe with just out the Mohican. And then one for me, I just think he's such a classic in the originals, is the Imperial Spy guy. He kind of makes the weird noise and he looks like one of those old spooky Witch Doctor characters, and I think that'll be awesome to get him included, because again, we haven't had him in LEGO form. And then last but not least, if my predictions are correct where we're going to be getting some prequel stuff as well, then it would be great to have a Watto, because we haven't had Watto for a long time in any of the sets. Okay, so that's it for my predictions and thoughts on this set, although I wouldn't really call them predictions, they're more dreams of what I would love it to be. But me and Rogue the other night were just chatting through all this stuff, and obviously me and him are also planning to do a Galaxy's Edge theme park that might be going in my city at some point, so this will make an absolute awesome hub. So we're kind of expecting all the stuff, we're really wanting certain things and whether we could use it and how all that would tie together. So this is where this kind of dream list came from, which if any of this happens would be absolutely great, and I can't wait to kind of add this to the city. Anyway, I'm really hoping that it's something that I could easily implement into my theme park when I get around to doing it. But again, let me know in the comments down below if this is something you're going to be getting, or whether you're going to wait and see what it looks like and how hyped you are for this set. I mean, I think the hype is real. I can't wait to be picking this up, and hopefully it'll be coming mid-September. But other than that, have an absolute awesome day.
Hi, Lord Vader here. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for more awesome LEGO videos. Or if you'd like to see any more Star Wars videos, check out the playlist up here. Or if you'd like to see any more awesome LEGO related content, check out the video over here. I have to say that this channel is impressive. Most impressive.